G'day, my name's Cameron. Over the last year, I've been travelling around Australia meeting cool people doing cool shit to protect the natural world. And because of these chats, I've garnered a plethora of quotes and ideas that live in my head rent-free. Here's a couple of my faves.
Act loco!
Deciding you want to start your journey to be a little bit more gentler to the planet can be exciting, but fucking daunting. Where do you even start? But I think Dylan from Unley perfectly sums up a really stress-free approach to environmentalism. He suggests replacing 1 or 2 car commutes with just riding your bike into work.
Instead of having to add a whole activity, planting trees or something to be better for the planet, which is fantastic, obviously do that, but just doing less of a bad thing is a great way to approach environmental issues.
Yeah, just a little lifestyle change.
Yeah, try once a week, and I think sure enough you'll probably enjoy it and be like, actually I prefer this. And then it just goes hand in hand with sort of reducing emissions.
Just by doing less of a bad thing can be a great way to approach environmental issues. What a simple but effective sentiment. Instead of completely overhauling your schedule overnight, look at a few little things that you can do in your day-to-day that will help sustain the beauty of this big old planet. I'm not an economics professor, but I do know that the world functions on supply and demand. If we're no longer demanding that environmentally harmful product, big companies aren't going to make them anymore. In this example, there'll be less cars, which means less emissions, and that means a healthier planet. Quick math, baby. Also, quick side note, if you're stuck behind the screen yelling at me saying,
"Well, my town or city isn't built for bicycles,"
well, that's what the blokes from Unley are actually trying to solve.
The majority of people don't ride us because they're just concerned about safety, and which is fair enough. It needs to be addressed, and if we're going to be serious about approaching climate change and mitigating the effects of transport emissions, we need to build this infrastructure to promote cycling and encourage people to be a part of it. If we can get safe cycling infrastructure, which really connects the places that people want to be and go to, then that's kind of perfect.
Along a similar vein as that last quote, talking about reduction, let's talk plastics. I knew they were shit, but I didn't know the extent to how shitty plastics can be until I sat down with Dr. Michelle Blewitt of AUSMAP, or the Australian Microplastics Assessment Project.
The problem with microplastic is it's just big bits of plastic that break up into smaller pieces. It never breaks down, never ever goes away. So once they become smaller and smaller until they're less than 5 millimeters in size, then they become what we call microplastics. It was made to be durable. It was made to last forever, and that's exactly what it does. So it comes down our stormwater network.
Yep.
The ocean's downhill from everywhere. So this lake system where we are, there's a lot of fish in here that people come down and fish. They eat those fish, and so you get the fish that are possibly, most probably, consuming the plastics as well. Been known to be found in water, with salt, lots of food products, cosmetics, been found in beer. They consider that we are consuming a credit card size worth of microplastic every single week. That's 5 to 8 grams of microplastics.
Every piece of plastic that's ever been produced is still on this earth. Let me repeat that. Every single piece of plastic that has ever been produced is still on this earth. We've got enough. It's time to ban single-use plastics and find a complete and utter way to recycle everything that we've already got on the earth, because we just keep making virgin plastics and it makes no sense. It ends up in our landfills, it ends up in our oceans, we ended up ingesting it just because we like a barramundi at dinner. I hate that quote, but it is an important one, so just remember that next time you go to put your bananas into the plastic bag at the supermarket, it's already got an outer protective layer. We don't need to put it in a plastic bag. Sorry, I'm gonna cool down. So I'm going to end this video with my favourite quote from the entire series. Sam from Protect Our Winters dropped so many knowledge bombs on my head when we sat down together in Melbourne, but this concept stood out the most.
We're about positive messaging, and we're about, sharing this information with people and then helping connect them to what they can do about it. If you give people the information, affect their heads, you connect it with what they love doing, skiing their hearts, and you give them something to do about it, their hands, then that's how we all come together to make an impact. And that's what we're working on. We're not going out going, rah, 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 you're not going to be skiing in 2051. If things keep going that way, because no one's going to want to listen to you. I mean, that's been the whole. If people were scared by climate change, we would have done something about it by now. But we're not doing enough fast enough. So we're here to help connect people with what they love doing, and then the ways in which they can influence the people that they can influence, whether it be their local politicians, people that they work in business with, the industry to be a voice, so that we can push for the action that we need to see, which is faster and more aggressive, so that we can protect our snow and protect our winters in Australia.
You protect what you love. If you really want people to listen to your dreams about protecting the natural world, you got to reach them on a personal level. You can't just scream at them, nah, the world's f***ed and you should care, because unfortunately, time and time again, that's been shown to not work. So how are you going to touch a community's heads, hearts and hands in order for them to want to join your push to help protect the natural world? Speaking of which, if you know someone doing that already, comment their name down below so I can have a chat with them on this YouTube channel. I'll see you then. Love ya.